Need the Spyfall. Need it.
Just really weird. We didn't prep anything there, and I nearly said to you, "Oh, should we sing Skyfall?" And I didn't, and you did it anyway.
We are connected.
In our usual weird club singer style. We are
the same.
We are not the same.
We are
the same. Welcome back to Doctor Who Review. I'm Chris.
Hello.
Season 12! The second season 12. We're in the modern era. It is Jodie Witaika's second full season, beginning now.
What month is this?
Madam, what year is this? What, in terms of...
This, when people will be watching it?
Oh, you guys will be watching this in, like, early summer of 2024.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, why are you harping on at me that we're falling behind?
No, we're falling behind in real time.
Yeah, we want to watch it before the...
Yeah, the date is currently, the year of our Lord, the 15th of November 2023. We have less than a fortnight to finish this era if we want to join the 60th anniversary on time. So we are blasting through these for the next week now.
To be fair, if we didn't make it, nobody would know, because we could just say, "Oh, we made it! Look, oh."
Yeah, but that doesn't matter to them. It matters to me. I want to finish our marathon before the next new episode. Okay. Yeah, Dingleberry. We're not going to finish our marathon before the Children in Need mini special, for example.
When the heck is that?
Friday, 2 days from now.
I have no concept of time.
Anyway, yeah, Children in Need special, which annoyingly will have to become one of the videos because that'll be bonus video 30.
Oh God!
There we go.
Yay! That mean we've got to watch all Christmas in Need, Children in Need.
Christmas in Need. No, we've done all the Children in Need stuff.
But you've just said we're going to watch a Children in Need thing.
Yeah, that comes out.
Yeah, no.
What I mean, why are we talking about this while we're recording?
No, I mean, 2
days from now, at the time you and I are talking in this room.
Yeah, no, I know.
We are getting a mini-sode.
I know. But do you know what time it is, or do we have to watch the whole of Children in Need?
No, we just watch it. We just watch it on YouTube afterwards when Children in Need upload it.
Okay, good.
I'm watching Children in Need.
I don't want to sit there and watch Children in Need.
I'm working for starters.
Because I don't care. No, I'm joking.
Oh, no, but seriously, it's weird that we all have to chuck money to help people in need when really our government should be designating our taxes accordingly.
Tories!
Anyway, right, so, like, is that a bad thing to help people in need? Of course not. Should we have to be doing it the way we're doing it? No, because our money should be helping everybody. See where the money's going, the thieving Tory bastards. Now that we've got rid of the wankers from this video, who've all clicked off and thumbs it down.
Sorry. Sorry.
This is an interesting one. Season 12, Series 12, Series 2020, Jodie Whittaker Series 2. It's interesting because the first series, the Chibnall era, is very much like we are giving you everything that's new. New New York, but not New York. We're not relying on old stuff. And then for the New Year's special, a year between that, by the way, and the start of this series, a whole year.
Wow.
Resolution was January 1st, 2019. Spyfall Part 1 was January 1st, 2020. Whole year without Who.
I do remember that.
Well, it becomes sort of commonplace because of the late Moffat era, like the idea of there just being chunks without any Doctor Who.
It was weird. Yeah.
And it happened again here.
It kind of felt like Doctor Who didn't really exist anymore, and it was just kind of like one-offs that would come out because it was so long between them.
I can't remember what the reason was here. I think it was a mix of things. I think it was like how they were filming the show and people's availability and things like that. And it was planned to be, there's going to be a year's gap. I remember everyone getting plenty of warning. It was like, there's not going to be a series in 2019. But I remember there being a belief of, maybe we'll get an additional special, like an Easter special or a Halloween. The Halloween special was something that was rumoured for a long time, didn't happen. But then we got a Halloween-themed episode next series, so there was always something on the cards. The Halloween theming of the episode is incredibly loose, i.e. it's set at Halloween, and that's it.
Have you watched it?
I've seen it. I think you've seen it. But the fact you don't remember a Halloween episode shows you how successful the Halloween apocalypse is at being a Halloween special. It isn't. Anyway, for last series being all new, I wonder how conscious of a decision it was this series for them to be like, no, now we're going to bring some stuff back. Was it because they were like, let's bed everybody in first and then we'll start bringing back villains and plot lines? Or was it we got a weird reception for people last time, let's bring back some familiar things? I mean, the Dalek, solo, singular Dalek, was saved for the New Year's special, and that worked brilliantly because it was a great idea. And I think, no spoilers for later in the series, but like the recurring and returning elements of who mythology in this series are played very well. Like, whenever Chibnall brings back a monster or a creature or a character, he's got a really good idea for them.
Yeah. And that's nice and
different. And then there's Legend of the Sea Devils. Sorry, what? I
said, and that's nice and different, because sometimes an old nemesis that comes back are kind of used in the same way.
An older creature is brought back in this one, and you can see them on the table. But their familiarity and the structure of what we remember is used to the effect of the story. Like, they're not really what the story's about. We just think they're what the story's about. But we'll get to that episode at the end of this little video. But it's interesting. Like, the series brings back several things. The Master, in just this group of episodes, the Master, the Judoon, Gallifrey.
That's it.
Remakes the mysterious planet rather haphazardly.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I can't even remember which one it was.
It's weird, isn't it? Let's crack on, shall we? Spyfall Part 1 and Spyfall Part 2. Let's talk about it as talk about it as separate parts if you've got a point about the separate parts. But let's talk about it as one story. The New Year's special that's not a New Year's special, Spyfall Part 1. Oh my god, what's it called? What's the astronaut one called?
Which one?
Something astronaut, the Day of the Moon from Series 6.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called now. But that two parts that opens the series.
Yeah.
The first part is a phenomenal piece of work. Yeah. And then the second part, the moment you think about any of it, you're like, wait, what?
Is that the one where Bill dies?
No, the start of Series 6. So, Day of the... Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. But the astronaut, the Impossible Astronaut, and the Day of the Moon.
Right.
The 11th Doctor, Rory Amy, River Song. Yeah. Like, part 1 is phenomenal, and then part 2, the moment you think about it, it's a jumper with a loose thread. And it's just like, what the hell was that about? Go back and watch our video on that to hear my thoughts. But Spyfall's kind of the same. I don't think part 2 fails spectacularly the whole story, but it does make you go, what? The build-up is definitely better than the payoff. That being said, there is a lot to enjoy in this two-parter.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a two-parter. Holy crap, it's a two-parter again.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we start? Like, Stephen Fry's C, nice short cameo, whatever, cool. Very much there to sort of put him in the trailer and have people go, oh god, Stephen Fry's in this one. And then he's kind of done with, then they move on. What are you saying?
That's the curse, though, of what seems to be special, like guest stars, like stars. They're in it for like 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, and then they die or they just go away or are just not in it much. I forgot, I don't know how I managed this, I forgot that it was called Spyfall. Because that's so on the nose for me.
Well, keep in mind, Skyfall was 6 years prior, so it's kind of more like and part 1 is very much like based on...
Yeah.
It is spies being killed off.
Yeah.
So Spyfall.
I get it, yeah.
Yeah, but Doctor Who and the Spy Who Falls, for example, would be like, okay, that's a bit...
Spy Who...
What would the target all be called?
Doctor Who and...
The Spy Master, probably.
The Spies.
Doctor Who... Eating pies. I don't know.
Anyway,
yeah.
So I was watching it and I was thinking, gosh, this is very Bondy. This music is very Bondy.
Can we give a shout out to Sega Nakanola especially?
Just all the way through.
Yeah, but in this two-parter especially, like Sega Nakanola as the composer for the show is cooking in this two-parter.
Don't you mean musical director?
Call back. But like he's absolutely he is cooking in this one. Just a stunning job.
And then I remembered what we were watching. I was like, oh, Yeah, it's meant to be like Bondy.
Like
I was thinking, oh,
taking her theme from the previous series and proper bonding it up.
I think we should. I think what this show has taught us is that don't get into cars that can drive themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it because you'll end up dead. You know what I mean? Don't do it. You want to get in that Uber that's driverless? Don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I mean, in this there was a driver, to be fair. The driver then got shot. And the doctor was unable to steer the car because she told everyone that that's not her steering the car.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too much.
But when it happens,
it's like, oh my God.
Like, you don't have to tell us. We can see it. The characters can see it. Like, or even just have a go, I've got no control. Like, there you go, boom. Like, she's explained to her friends that nothing's happening when I try to change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a few instances of that, especially in the Chibbers scripts. I think the unfurling mystery of Spyfall works quite nicely. So spies around the world, specifically ones working for MI6, are being taken out. And they want people to look into it. And the doctor's recommended because there appears to be some kind of alien connection to this. And they never say it outright, but the implication is they would have gone to UNIT for advice. There is no UNIT, as we know from the last story.
Exit.
So, yeah. So they go into the database and basically go, right, this person is the one to talk to. Let's get them. Let's get them and speak with them. Nice bit of patriarchy poking with C immediately assuming Graham is the doctor, is the expert.
Has that happened a few times now?
I can't remember. There's definitely been bits where people have sort of gone, yes, sir, or whatever, and it's like, Witchfinders, I think it happened in. And then obviously in Fugitive, the Judoon, a character who's assuming it's the doctor because it should be the doctor.
Yeah.
Confuses them. But yeah, like, this is the first sort of openly, like, no, this is inbuilt misogyny and patriarchy at work. This is seeing the older bloke and going, it's definitely him. Now, you could argue is that one. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could argue.
Oh, please don't tell me he's a TERF.
No, but he's a TERF sympathiser.
Oh. How?
He said that people have been very. This is as of the recording of this in November 2023. He said that people being mean about J.K. Rowling need to sort of back off a little. And instead of elaborating on that as like, because we can't have the conversation if we're just attacking, like, let's all step back and speak. He's very much been like, because, like, you shouldn't be bullying her. And it's like,
because she's my friend.
Yeah, but she's fucking, well, exactly. It's that kind of, yeah. And it's like, Stephen, no. Stephen, no.
But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, fuck TERFs. But not the way they want. Anyway, you could assume that C is assuming Graham is the doctor because, like, the file for UNIT will go back to the 70s or 80s and there is an older bloke there.
That's true.
But, it always seems to be very kind of, anyway. He gets killed off, and I love rewatching this one because you saw this one on broadcast, but you've not thought about it since, so, like, a lot of it would have felt new to you in terms of... Yeah,
I remembered the big bits that happen.
Like, as soon as the story started unfolding, you went, oh, is this the one with Sacha Dhawan in it? And I went,
no.
Yes, Sacha Dhawan's in it. It's like, so the Master's in this one. And I went, maybe he's not being the Master. Which I think was enough to sort of make you go... You said not
yet.
Yeah, because technically not. Like, he doesn't reveal himself until the end of part one. But... knowing obviously the story and everything, I was kind of watching it this time with the eye of, right, the way you always enjoy a twist story the second time you visit it, you watch the performances, especially of those who know really what's going on. So obviously,
if you really love doing that, watch Shutter Island.
Yeah. But like in this one, like on C's death, his execution, the last thing he says is "oh," and of course you just think of it as like a "oh, Scoot," like it's just kind of an exclamation. But he has...
Scoot!
But, like, you realise, obviously, by the end of that, no, that's the... that he's put two and two together. He knows that O is the only one who'd know that this meeting's happening or whatever. Earlier on, obviously, you have O saying, like, there must be a spy master. And it's like, he's enjoying every second of that because it's him. And no one knows it. And, just the sort of the tiny seeds of doubt he puts in the companions... not to set them up for a trap, but just to mess with them slightly in ways they don't realise. Like it's. Let's just talk about him. Sacha Dhawan is so good as the Master.
He's really scary.
He's frightening. Like if John Sim was the zany Master to match Tennant's energy, Sacha Dhawan isn't here to meet anyone else. Like he's not. This isn't a. At least it seems this way. This doesn't seem like I'm Jodie's Master, so I'm going to match Jodie's. No.
No.
Well, maybe in one way. Jodie is an excited little puppy.
Yeah.
Sacha Dhawan is a barking rabid dog.
Yeah.
Like, he can barely hold back his fury. Once the cat's out of the bag, and we know he's the Master, he lets his temper get the better of him a lot.
Yeah.
Prior to that, he must have been exhibiting so much self-control, right down to the fact that the Doctor in a prior incarnation has met O.
How did she not wait?
Well, exactly. That's one sort of loophole. Time Lords can sense one another. Yeah.
But how?
But we've seen that also not happen before. Like, the Doctor doesn't know Professor Yana is the Time Lord. Could argue that's because Professor Yana's biology's completely changed and he is human. But still, like, there have been times where the Doctor hasn't recognised Time Lords. You could argue it's that.
But if she'd met him before, was he just playing the long game? Or...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he got there early. Because that's what she's like, but I met O, and he's like, I know. And it's like, it wasn't another person, it was him. The entire freaking time. Ready for this plan specifically. He was here for this plan.
Scary.
Maybe their paths weren't meant to have crossed, but they did by coincidence. And of course, he's spending the whole time going, oh my God, okay, right. straight face, it's not me. I'm not the Master. Okay, here we go. And he's just like...
That is a maniacal... That's an evil person.
And just the little slip being the thing that gives it away to her.
It was never
like,
good at running.
Never good at running. It's like, you were. You were like this, that, and the other. And of course, that's not him. That's the OG O's file. The Master's probably got in there and just tweaked it so like the photos are of him and things like that, which he's done before. Like, look at the Saxon stuff and everything. Like, he has a whole life. Here's his entire political career and where he grew up. And like, he's very good at doing that. He's a master of disguise. And this is, again, it's. I like the fact we're at the point now where the showrunners Moffat and then Chibnall have gone, yeah, the Master's about disguises. Let's play with that again. Like, let's do that. You know, Missy wasn't in disguise necessarily, but she wasn't revealed at first, and then the Sim Master is like legit a different person for that first story.
You could probably say that she was in disguise.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't a, oh, I'm living a different life. It was, no, I'm doing this. You just don't know it's me yet, so I'm not going to give you any clues. And what do you call it? I
wonder how many
like Simmons Master in the Russell era obviously doesn't get that chance because he does the whole thing of like can't exactly disguise when you look like the former Prime Minister and things like that.
Someone should do a compilation of the Doctor realising it's the Master, because they all kind of seem to be the same, like giving him a clue. Giving him a clue.
The Master can't help himself. They're being
the Doctor's like, no. It's like, would the Doctor not go, oh, for God's sake.
Is this one
again? How did I miss
that's definitely happened in places, but shooting the story must have been an absolute nightmare for Sacha Dhawan specifically because his hair, like facial hair and haircut, changed so much in these 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Based on the period, because obviously for the Master, there's been big chunks of time between every meeting.
Yeah.
Like. Even when he shows up at like the fair, the science fair in the second episode, he's probably been there for a couple of weeks, waiting to line up and be like, right, there they are, let's go.
That's what I'm saying, maniacal.
Yeah, like he's, and again, it's like it's a very Third Doctor era master plan. Here's a thing, he's leapt in to go, I'll help you out. Like he's seen the Kassav and he's figured out what they are, and he's like, right, I'll help you out. Yep, I'll help you. You wanna find somewhere to like come through and claim as your own. You live in the space between spaces. You live in a different dimension. You need a new home. Come here. I'll help you kill everybody off. It'll be great. In fact, not only that, I'll find somebody who like just kind of hates the world and has a very big position of power who can utilize what you're good at. You're good at like turning people basically into just databases, just eradicating everything and leaving them as a husk of DNA and nout. So you do that for this guy. leave a selection of people alive. He'll make requests, and you leave that selection of people alive. He gets a database of corpses to use. You get to live on the planet. And I've helped you out, and you'll, like, give me a leg up. Yeah, great.
You'll give
Meanwhile,
me
he's thinking, at some point, I'm going to screw over both of them, and I'll take the world. Yeah.
I mean, does he...
He never learns, let's be honest.
No, he doesn't. That must be such a stressful life to have. What would you gain from having the world? But a lot more stress.
Well, there you go.
It's just
but it's all about domination. But they also sow the seed of him being like, everything you know, everything you think you know is a lie. And you're like, well, what's that about? It's just cliffhanger talk. And then we get the recorded message from him in part 2. And it's like, have you been home yet?
Even that. There's so much spite and emotion in it. I think this is the most emotional Doctor Master, that we've seen.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Missy, yeah, but Missy's more kind of subdued. Like her emotional arc is more her
cheeky.
But like her redemption arc is where like the emotion gets to really be stretched and played. It's very quiet. It's like the moments where she's just crying and stuff, and they're talking, and it's like.
What did you think about it?
But that's also quite depressing because the implication is this is post Missy. Like, it's there. There's a lot of speculation that maybe he isn't, but the implication is there that this is post Missy.
Yeah.
Because he's aware of the Time War. He knows Gallifrey's in its little pocket space in the universe.
Mm.
And that redemption is completely gone. And it's that whole thing of, look, there's so many people who are really upset about that, and I get it. Because Missy's arc in Series 10 is genuinely fascinating. But with regeneration comes a whole new personality.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and all it takes is one personality to go, the Doctor was twisting my words. He was making me feel like that.
It's twisting my melon, man.
It's twisting my melon, man. Yeah, that's all it takes. Sacha Dhawan's Master probably regenerated. Like, so Missy survives. Even though, again, we talked about that, it would have been a perfect end for the character, really.
Yeah. But angelic.
Missy did somehow regenerate.
Did she, like, crawl into a TARDIS?
No, we saw her dead on the forest floor.
But was she dead? Or was she just nearly dead?
I mean, for all we know, the Cybermen found her, took her to be converted, the corpse to be converted.
Mm.
The corpse gets partially converted, just sort of jumps her to life enough and she regenerates. Like, we don't know. And to this day, as of this recording, we don't know how it happened. Got no idea. And that's kind of fun. Like, we know how a couple of Masters came to be, but there's always gaps, and I like that. I like that there's gaps. If you're into Big Finish, you've got the Alexander McQueen Master, you've got a Derek Jacobi incarnation prior to Yana. Like, there's all this history if you want to, like, follow the Big Finish spin-off kind of, extended fiction side of it. But in the show, I love the fact that we don't really have a definitive timeline for the Master. We have a rough idea. We know Delgado, something happens, and he ends up like the Beaver's Pratt incarnation. The Pratt and Beaver. Jesus Christ. Well played, show. Like, he ends up either as the Delgado incarnation or the next one along, whatever, ends up a charred up near corpse.
Crispy
Master. Like, that's his last life, and so he segues into Tremus's body, King Tremus's body, and uses that body for a very long time. The one we see in shadow at the start of the TV movie is implied to be the same incarnation. Everyone calls him the Tipple Master because he was played by a guy called Gordon Tipple. But all he's doing is literally standing there in a thing. So, I always assumed that was the Ainley body still, the Anthony Ainley version of the Master.
He wasn't cheeky.
Which implies why he's got the cat-like eyes. Yeah. When Bruce becomes the Master, Bruce's body's taken, so he's still kind of got like the disease of the cheetah people and stuff. So yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yana is the next Time Lord body because he's resurrected by the Time Lords. We know Yana becomes Sim. We assume Sim becomes Gomez. We never see it, but that's the implication. She's definitely further along.
I don't remember Sim turning into Gomez. Sorry, I couldn't let that pass.
Doesn't even make any sense. Dhawan is a lot of fun. He's a ton of fun. He's a super villain.
That's
Master.
Exactly how you describe him. He's a lot.
He's a lot. Yeah, like he's a short king firecracker, like Rottweiler in a quirky suit.
Kind of sexy, kind of
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's basically you like creepy villain bad boy characters in fiction.
Yes, I do.
You like Patrick Troughton. Here's a master that dresses like Patrick Troughton's doctor. He's basically in a purple Troughton outfit with a tie instead of a bow tie.
Can I just point out, I don't fancy Patrick Troughton as the Doctor.
No, but you fancy Patrick Troughton. And here's Sacha Dhawan with a bit of Patrick Troughton about him.
Salamander is a different man. And he's got those boots on, you know? Anyway.
We'll see more of his costume as time goes by, but I was like, this is the first master with a costume that's basically a doctor outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's just dressed like a doctor would.
I'm just thinking that, like, every regeneration of his is, like, chaos. And I think it just, because his regenerations are under such stress and such, like, horrendous circumstances, he always seems to grasp back at the regeneration, that it becomes more and more unhinged. And, like, his mind is just, doesn't get a chance to regenerate properly.
There is a potential meta-narrative for this master over the course of the Chibnall era. We saw the last incarnation, presumably the previous incarnation, played by Michelle Gomez, learn to become the Doctor.
Yeah.
We see this master railing against the very idea. In fact, the thought of them being anything like the Doctor leads to the arc of this series and what they're up to, which we'll see as we go into the second half. And that idea gets twisted further by their, as of this recording, last canonical appearance in the show. But yeah, it's interesting. Just a thing to plant there. Mandip, Tosin and Bradley are delightful in this two-parter.
Yeah.
We get to spend a lot of time with the fam on their own, and they are off doing their thing, being fugitives. They are the recipients of the worst line of dialogue in the show's, one of the worst lines of dialogue in the show's history.
What was it?
Hello again. Was it hello again, friends? Or should I say, plain thieves? It's just like, what?
Ooh.
What on earth?
Ooh, you got him there.
So bad.
Ooh.
And I've got to say, Lenny Henry is a phenomenal dramatic actor who is not thought of as a dramatic actor because he's mostly known for comedy and you know, charity work and telethons and stuff. But like, he is a dramatic actor. He's done his Shakespeare. He's done his like
drama.
National. He's done but like he's a seasoned dramatical actor. I don't think this part is the best use of Lenny Henry.
No.
He gets a couple of really good moments, like the bit where the Doctor's facing up to him at the party in the end of part one is great. He feels legitimately threatening. Where she goes like, all right, fair enough, but just let you know, Mr. Barton, I'm a very hard person to get rid of.
Yeah.
And it genuinely is like, ooh, when he leans down and goes...
Her face.
Where he goes, are you? It's like, but it's sort of ruined by the fact that nearly every time he's confronted, he just leaves. Like, he always gets in a car and leaves. Like, that's his plan. Right, I'm leaving now.
Yeah, but doesn't that tell you, like, about his character? That
he's a bit of a coward, but the thing is, he's also a sadist.
Yeah, he is.
Like, the keynotes address he gives in part 2 is like, everyone in this room is going to die.
But also
the extras don't react. That's so weird. I hate that scene. It's so bad. The extras
didn't seem like they
were told what they were reacting to.
They didn't seem like the crowd that would be there for an unveiling of a technological...
Do you know what as well? Especially because there were gaps in the seats.
Yeah, there was like older couples and it was like, do they get a free breakfast if they go through the seminar?
That felt like a very kind of poorly arranged sequence.
Yeah, it was bizarre, and they didn't react to the terror of what was
and once
about to
again,
happen.
we saw it with the Khan family. Like, it was nice to see them, and their reaction to it was obviously quite freaked out, because we saw, like, oh god, that's what's happening to people around the world. But once again, we didn't see what was happening around the world during a moment of a global terror attack by a technology magnate. Who surely would have been watched on live streams around the world by people who were into the stuff that his company were making. Because Vor is more powerful than anything on the... Let's talk about the Kasavin, because they look like the Vord, right? Keys of Marinus.
Yeah.
They look like the Vord. The shape of them.
Yeah.
The company's called Vor. They look like the Vord. it has sod all to do with the Keys of Marinus or the Vord. The Kasavan are a completely different species. What was the point in that?
I don't know.
Like, Vord seems like a very deliberate name. And we got extra confused with that because in the next episode there's a character called Form.
Yeah.
And it was like, hang on, what?
That's poor planning.
It's just really weird. Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
The spy aspect, so like Graham and
the Roger Morey stuff is played very well.
Yeah,
like the laser shoes and
remember
the rocket
it's
cufflinks.
A kids show. Yeah,
like that's played so much fun.
Ryan and Graham, like
nicking gadgets. Well, their excitement in part one's really fun.
Yeah,
and the fact they just nicked some,
but they hadn't read the instructions, so they didn't know what they were doing.
Like, that's great.
Yes, I complimented Ryan.
Tozin's good in this two-parter. He gets a lot.
No,
Again, when he gets moments of comedy and levity, he's a joy. Like when he freaks out on the plane, there's a moment where he's like, "Ah!" before he sees like the sign saying Ryan Sinclair with the arrow. Yeah. He's great. I know it's a very cheap time travel show way of getting out of the plot by having the Doctor set up how they escape. But it's also fun. I love the fact that she laminated an instruction sheet. And
then she says she loves a laminator.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like, just the whole, like, don't respond, this is a video. I'm not panicking. Yeah, don't panic. We're dying, whatever. I told you not to panic.
Also, stop talking to the video. I can't respond.
Yeah, like, very strange.
It was cute.
The visual of O's house, Wizard of Oz style, which unfortunately they say outright, a bit Wizard of Oz. It's like, no, he should have just said, like, he should have said we're not in Kansas anymore or something like that.
Didn't somebody say
the Master goes, bit Wizard of Oz.
No, didn't somebody say something about Kansas?
I can't remember. But like a more indirect, that's what it's like, everybody, would be better than I'm telling you what thing this looks like. But it's a really fun visual. And the arrogance of him that he doesn't even bother with the chameleon circuit when he arrives in Paris in the 40s.
Yeah.
He just leaves it as a house from the outback in the middle of a courtyard because he can't be arsed. But yeah, the Master's TARDIS. We're seeing a Master's TARDIS again for the first time in Bleeding Forever. That's fun.
I've got to admit, the spinning house took it out a bit for me. I thought it just looked a bit too silly.
I didn't mind it, but sure, whatever.
Well, you're wrong. No,
I'm fine with that. Barton's a nice villain, but again, I don't understand what he gets out of this, really. Data.
Power?
And what? Exactly, it's a power trip thing. It's one of those where it's like, I don't get what he thinks he's going to get out of this in the long run, really.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they do make him petty and spiteful. The scene with his mum is brilliant.
Yeah.
And she is fantastic. I don't even think she gets a proper credit. Let's see. Barton's mother is the name of the character.
Yes.
Played by Blanche Williams. She's great. She has one scene and you get it. You realise that she's basically given birth to this kid and has gone, God, he's an arsehole. And she's raised him and then been like, I want nothing more to do with him after this.
Her name is Blanche. Love that. Love that for you, babe.
But the whole, just what would it take for you to just one time to say, well done? She goes, well done. Are we finished? It's like, yes, the sass is off the scale.
Spicy.
Who else? Who else is worth knowing? I like the two security team officers that stay with them in the outback. They're great. I like the idea. They're like, look, our job is to protect you. Get in the bloody house.
Yeah.
I like the visuals of the Kasavin. I'd like to actually watch some behind the scenes and figure out how they did a lot of that. Because just this blaring bright light coming from all of them is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, just as a visual style, it's like the bits where they're there and they're just suddenly they're just like 5 or 6 feet closer and stuff. Like, that's creepy. And the crackling noise that they make and everything.
Made me think of the Cybermen, though. With the
Army of Ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, how many times can you do things that are lit up and not quite in focus and make it completely different? I think the fact that they have sort of a unified voice, they're voiced by Stru and Roger, and it's kind of, they're a little bit playfully nasty, is quite nice. Like when they trap one in O's TARDIS and everything O's house, the Master's TARDIS.
O's house.
Which again makes sense because we see early on, we see one of them breach the TARDIS.
O's house. Sorry.
Which is a great visual. It starts like just phasing through the door. It's so creepy.
That is creepy.
There's a lot to love in this. I just think it falls flat in many places along the way. Part 2 is really where it starts to fall flat. Like, connecting it to Ada Lovelace is kind of cool, because there's something that Chibnall does really well is he highlights, like, female historical figures a lot during his run. He makes a point of doing it. And in this we get Ada Lovelace and we get Noor Eniat Khan, who both have incredible stories, like Ada's contributions to technology and the beginnings of essentially what is the computer. Like, you know, Charles Babbage and his invention that gets the ball rolling, she's the one who kind of narrows it down and directs it where it eventually ends up. There's a lot of unsung historical figures in this series as well, like Nikola Tesla, like the way they talk about him sets up the idea of like, yeah, the dude's an absolute failure in his lifetime. Yeah. As far as he's concerned, the people around him. But he starts the ball rolling on what eventually leads to like Wi-Fi and radar and things like that. Like, it begins with him. And then obviously, you know, Noor herself, like the idea of, oh, by the way, did you know that in Paris there was a British like spy who's like, you know, multiracial, hidden within Paris, sending messages to the British during Nazi occupation? Like, what a badass!
Absolute. Well, the women were very much the unsung heroes of World War II. Very much so, because they took the roles of men. Yeah. They, female spies, man. Yeah. They were just incredible.
And I do like the way that all ties in. It's just, this is, I think the reason it falls a little flat as a delivery somewhat is because suddenly all of this is shoved into part 2.
Exactly.
And part 1 is very much one other thing. Now, you can do that to great effect. Again, the Big Bang and the Pandorica opens the Big Bang. Does that to great effect. The idea of you think you know where this is going. Surprise. Part 2 is very different.
Yeah.
But then Impossible Astronaut, Day of the Moon, like, okay, right, sure, whatever. You can do it and it just not be a, you know, Hellbent, Heaven Sent, everything. Like, it just doesn't quite do it for me. And this is kind of like that, but I think it's better executed than those other two. Like, this still feels like it is one story. It's just weird that it starts out as a spy epic very definitively and then becomes a time travel trying to
goes a million miles an hour, like in the second episode.
Yeah. I mean, again, great scenes, great guest cast, like, very well played.
Yeah.
The period settings are beautifully done.
Love it. Love it. Perfect.
The Doctor's questionable morals come in again. A decision is made that you go, well, that's not necessary. So the Doctor makes a throwaway remark to Nazi Master. Oh, it's also which is like him being a German soldier. That's a new low even for him. It's like, really? Like, he's pure evil. Like,
you're shocked.
Him disguising as a Nazi is totally on brand for him if it's a thing that he could do to give himself the leg up in that period of history.
Surely would it not be like...
It's so on brand for him.
It's just it was only a matter of time kind of thing.
And it's just like, it's disgusting it's disgusting how he doesn't see like that as distasteful. Like, of course. Yeah. Like, because it's one of those as well where it's like, well, the Master's not a racist. It's like, no, he's not, but he's also a genocidal maniac. So, like,
it's like, no, he doesn't care who he directs his hatred at.
Yeah, they even set up in this incarnation, killing people gives him a little flutter in his heart, like he's doing what he's meant to do. Like, this is what he was put here to do. They bring back the TCE.
Ooh, that was pretty horrible to watch.
He is tissue compression eliminating people left, right, and flipping centre. The way he unveils the original O in the matchbox like it's a little magic trick, and then once he's done explaining, goes to put it back in his outer jacket pocket, but it's a tux, so the pocket's not a real pocket, it's a decorative pocket, and he just goes, and just throws it into the seats. Genius bit of like, he doesn't care. He's kept the original for posterity, but cat's out the bag now, so...
In the inventions kind of
inventions fair,
fair. when he shrinks that woman, that's a horrible sequence because it's like...
It's like, did you just move?
Did you just
and
move,
there's that
yeah.
couple there, and they're like, no. He's like, oh, right, okay. And then he just zaps her anyway.
He zaps her, yeah, and you'd think that he'd zap the guy as well, but no, he just zaps her.
No.
And he literally picks her up and throws her across the room.
Yep.
Psycho.
Yeah. It's you know, and the thing is, this master definitely has a penchant for violence.
Yeah.
And right down to them sort of when they're up the Eiffel Tower referring to the events of Legopolis. So it's like, it's called a pity or whatever, it's worse than Jodrell Bank. Did I ever apologise for that anyway? By the way. Did I ever apologise for that, by the way? No, you didn't. Good.
Yeah, I had to question what that was, and then when Christopher said it, I was like...
I was like, peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. And you're like, oh yeah. And it was like, yeah.
How dare you?
How dare you? Damn your eyes. In that sequence, she makes a quite fair point. She says, how have they let you in amongst the ranks? You're not exactly their Aryan archetype. Because he's not blonde, blue-eyed, white skin. And he says, like, tiny little perception filter. Like, they see what they want to see. And you're like, fair. Completely fair. And it is, fair that they point that out, because Doctor Who does try to be historically accurate with the historical elements. And you would look at that and go, yeah, hang on. How is he like a Nazi commandant? Like,
I'm not
he
gonna
is way against what they would allow to be within the Third Reich in terms of his ethnicity.
That was really annoying me.
Right, so then when they say that, you're like, oh, right, okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So once she's got the info she needs out of him, she disables the whatever, and basically Noor sends out a fake message on the Doctor's instruction that from the Master, like a fake message from him that the Germans will intercept, revealing he's actually a double agent for the British.
That's pretty cool.
That's great. So his troop arrived to arrest him. Yeah? Brilliant. And then she turns off the perception filter. That's a bit grim, isn't it?
Very.
The Doctor goes, well, your own men think you're a traitor, and they're going to come and get you now. Oh, by the way, now they're also going to probably murder you because you're a different race to them. Bye.
Probably going to put you in a camp.
What?
Yeah.
Which seemingly is what happens, because he spends 77 years waiting to catch back up to the events of the story. But it's like, wow. That's not a badass moment when you're using Nazis to get a thing done involving race. Like, that doesn't play as badass. That plays as deeply upsetting.
Yeah.
You had him already with the interception of the message. That was enough. That's such a weird little moment, and I really don't care for that.
Yeah. And she has
performative outrage. No, it's just uncomfortable, and it should make you feel uncomfortable.
And she has the thing of not wanting to use guns. It's like...
it's like, but you've just set a bunch of racists on a brown man. Like, that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Like, that's
so
weird.
You're happy not to kill somebody outright, but you're okay with them suffering. Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to clear that up.
Just really, yeah, it's... Now, you could argue, well, she's starting to show a bit more of a mean and nastier streak in this series, but yeah, not yet. Like, come on. So strange. So strange.
And to make such a point, like, not to just be like, oh, no, guns again. To be like, no, we do not use guns. It's like, pick a lane, guys.
I don't hate the fact she erases Noor and Ada's memories in this.
No, I don't.
Because I guess the whole thing is this is so uncalculated and so chaotic that they've been dragged into this that, like, they kind of need to be given a fresh slate going forward, or else history's going to be interrupted.
I was going to say, because that could literally change
the fabric of key. They are both very key figures at certain points in their lives and what's going on in the world. Ada's genuine horror at the idea of this is what the future holds for the world, and that it's happened twice. Probably be slightly more effective to me had it not already been done in Twice Upon a Time.
Yeah.
But it's still like, yeah, that's what she would be like. She'd be like, wait, what? Like, it makes sense, but we've already seen that in probably the only really good moment in Twice Upon a Time.
By the lovely Mark Gatoo.
Yeah, like, you mean First World War? Like, it's like, oh, quick, move along. Anything else to say about this one, really?
Would you like in my notes?
Yes, get your notes out for the lads.
I wrote, so James Bondy, this is for the first episode.
Mhm.
I love Graham looking at gadgets and having his hand slapped, which is very funny.
Yeah.
You would
The
think...
fact that Ryan and Graham have got past their disconnect now has opened up to a lot more kind of warmth for those characters and the more playful moments. Yeah.
Oh? What did you think, Luna? Ah.
Great. I hope that picked up on the camera.
You'd think MI6 would have bulletproof windows.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Well, actually, were they at headquarters or had they moved somewhere else?
No, I'm pretty sure they were at headquarters.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it was an alien weapon, because we find out later on that the Master took the shot themselves.
Yeah, but also knowing that aliens exist and having had UNIT, you would think that they would have some kind of extra protection.
Yeah, but what if it was like a weapon from the future that they don't have anything to fight against? Like, I get what you're saying. I get the point you're making.
That's going too far. Okay, for the second episode, apparating man, lady, Jodie, because she keeps forgetting.
Yes, the amazing apparating man, woman. Oh,
so cute.
Like she's had like 2,000 odd years of being referred to as like he, him, and referring to herself that way. She's getting confused. It makes sense.
It's very cute. Jesus, the Master is scary, shrinking those people and then throwing them.
Obviously, straight to part 2. Have you got an answer for part 1?
Yeah, that was it.
Alright.
You think MI6 would have bulletproof
windows? That was literally it for part 1!
Yeah, I did say that.
I love it. I thought you were joking.
No. I've not got long notes for any of these, really.
I think it's because you've been watching them. Like, you've been really engrossed in these ones.
Yeah. A black Nazi general. Oh, okay, perception filter. Audience of the scary speech don't seem fussed. I hate technology. One of the reasons I got into like crafting and sewing and things like that is because I wanted to do something with my hands and not have to rely on technology to entertain myself or to like survive.
Yeah.
I always thought if we were in like an apocalyptic scenario, we'd be able to cook, I'd be able to repair things and make things. But that's because I have anxiety.
The actual dialogue of Barton's keynote speech is great. It's really sinister, and it does sort of make you think. Yeah, the thing where he says like you've pressed agree so many times you don't know what you've given away.
Yeah, that makes me
and all
scared.
that stuff is like, oh, that's creepy.
Oh, don't like that.
Make sure to watch the series on BBC iPlayer and subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel and the newsletter. Like, yeah.
Except the cookies.
I like Spyfall.
Yeah, it was better than I remembered it.
Yeah.
I think I'd just completely fallen out of love with Doctor Who the first time I watched it. But,
yeah. It's pretty good overall.
Yeah, yeah.
Gallifrey being dead, though. We'll carry on with this later in the series, but I really don't like that because we just got it back. It's been ignored, really, and now it's gone again.
Goes through the ringer a bit, doesn't it, Gallifrey?
But it seems like, I don't know. It just seems like a weird decision. You know what I mean? But anyway.
Yeah, and a hologram spitting. Grim.
We'll comment more on Gallifrey later in the series.
It goes to show how good the actor is. I can't remember what his name is.
Sacha
Dhawan. But he looks so upset and then evil and then angry. It was like, whoa, so many emotions just went through, and it was just through his face.
And you genuinely want to know, like, what the hell did he find out that's made him do this?
Yeah.
So there we go. We will find out later in the series.
He's a petty master, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of petty, let's talk about Orphan 55. Well now, ain't that a big pile of shit? This one's awful. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Let's get the pros out of the way so that for those who are like, which one are you talking about? Green Air, great monster suit that they clearly have like one or two of, and they just double up a million times in several shots. Benny! There you go. Benny! Let's talk about it. Pros.
Graham.
The Dreg animatronic and costume looks phenomenal. It's one of the best executed monster creature designs in the show's history. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It is. It just is. It's like they've taken the Weevil and dehumanized it even further. It's got such a horrid, frightening
That's what it made me
face.
think of.
The dual rows of teeth.
Yeah, or the heights.
Like the beady eyes sunken into like the raised brow. The fact that its body looks kind of like an endoskeleton and a muscular structure at the same time. It looks like under the skin and over the carapace at the same time. It looks hefty. It looks like if one was stalking you, you would be dead. Like it's the drool shots of its mouth, like the one that's hibernating just effortlessly grabs the doctor by her throat and picks her up like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Like this thing is frightening, and there are loads of them.
Lots of them, yeah.
So there's a pro. We'll get back to it.
Let me see if I've got any pros.
Tosin Cole is very good in this one.
Yeah.
Ryan is probably my favourite of the companions of this one in terms of his reactions, his responses, specifically his interactions with Bella, who's played by Gia Ree, who I think is also the best guest star of the episode. She's the best supporting cast member.
She's stunning.
But she's like, just the way she plays it is great. Like, she plays it so well. That's not to say everyone else doesn't play it well. I think most of the cast bring their A game. But Gia Ree as Bella is great in this.
Beautiful.
Her design. Like, just the design of the character, the costume, the hair. I think the fact that this story very boldly is drawing, whether it realises it or not, from the visuals and setups and everything of stories like The Happiness Patrol, Paradise Towers, Dragonfire, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Like, there's a lot of McCoy-era visuals here. Vengeance on Varos, like, there's kind of the Colin Baker grimy stuff when you get behind the scenes. Like, the fact that it draws from that era in a way that is like, oh, wow, this is how you would do that now, is very bold. Big pro. First con, the fact that it's trying to look like those stories now by not really changing how those things would look is such a poor choice. But I don't think that's on the design team or the costume or makeup. I think it's on how this episode looks.
Yeah.
I think that Lee Haven Jones, who directed Spyfall Part 2 as well, I think Lee Haven Jones shits the bed with this. Or whoever his cinematography and visuals team are, they shit the bed with this one. I think this one looks awful.
Yeah, it does. It's not...
Is that a hot resort? Is it? Why is everyone in cardigans? Why are there old people in full clothes walking?
Why is
everyone dressed like space punks? Why is no one just sat there in their Speedos and a bikini by the pool? Why are we not seeing visuals of this is a hot resort where everybody's soaking in the sun and having a good time?
It's very windy.
It's windy as balls. Well, it's not technically sunny because it's a staycation, it's a vacation, it's inside a dome that's emulating sunshine with a pool. Why aren't people hanging out by the pool?
Yeah, why is it not hot?
Why does it not look like a party?
Yeah. Why is there only 8 people?
Why is the only staff member walking around in a boiler suit, dressed like Barf from Spaceballs?
Yeah.
God bless Amy Booth Steele for making Hyphen remotely likeable. Hyphen seems like a sweet person.
Yeah.
She's going for that kind of Jim Howick vibe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's doing a good job. But feck me, that costume is a big no.
The makeup is... It looks like... like Star Kid.
Yeah.
They did a Harry Potter
musical, Twisted, the guy who hated musicals.
On stage,
If she was in a stage production, she'd look great. If she was in 80s Doctor Who, she'd look great. You are shooting her in high definition for 4K home distribution maximum.
It was bad.
Give her
a
prosthetic nose, give her whiskers, or make it clear that it's a fashion thing. She's not a cat person.
She's a squirrel.
But she's wearing stuff because that's what she wants to look like.
Yeah.
But there's none of that.
Make the tail animated.
Is she alien? If so, why is she the only alien?
Exactly. The fact that it's all humanoids that are on there is very irritating. It seems like, it feels like they'd done an episode, it was all well and done, and then they'd lost that episode, so they had to film something really quick.
That's a fantastic summary. Because it's Cliff Notes ahoy. I mean, halfway through, you get the reveal that it's Earth. And I remember at the time saying to the Five Who Fans team, I was like, I feel like this one's by the ending, it's very preachy. Like, it's an important message. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And the young viewers watching will hopefully have taken something from that. But it feels very preachy. And on reflection, and I remember at the time, like, the lads going like, I don't know, I think you're overreacting a bit. Do you know what? I concede. Because I've figured out now on my second viewing of it, like 4 years later, what it is I hate. I hate that she's preaching it to her friends.
Yeah.
In context, she's preaching it to Graham, Yaz and Ryan. Like, they're going to be the change.
But boo, Doctor Who isn't political. She said it.
Yeah, she said the thing. But, like, so this is Earth. Okay. How do we find that out? From the sign of an underground station. Cool. Like the Mysterious Planet from Trial of a Time Lord. Exactly the same reveal. Exactly the same.
Exactly.
It's just a Russian station, not a London one. Exactly the same.
As we were watching it, I think I looked to you, didn't I? Go,
you'd forgotten this element, and it's when she reads the Russian sign, you went, it's Earth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't they do this in a Collins story? And I went, yes. Yes, they did. Exactly the same.
But I thought to myself...
And then they really over-egged the pudding with the Made in China side on the vending machine. And
But I thought to myself, am I having deja vu? Or have I actually seen this before? And I genuinely thought to myself, it must have been this episode I was thinking of.
Because you hadn't seen this one on broadcast, had you?
I had.
Oh, you had? But was it like background?
It was literally probably because you were watching it.
Yeah, could have been. Yeah, I would have been back from Panto at this point. Yeah. Because Spyfall Parts 1 and 2, I was away for Panto.
Yeah.
And then, there we go. It's weird to think this went out in January. So strange. And just before the world went to shite as well. January 2020.
Really?
Yeah. So...
I thought it was older than that.
No. But it's the before times. We really need to crack on. Sorry. Yeah, so just...
It's boring. It's a filler episode.
They venture out to find an old man who's not there, but he is there, but we never see him physically, so it kind of feels like a wasted journey before they all go back and then teleport away again.
I thought they were mimicking his voice.
That would have been interesting. But it isn't. They apparently just took Benny living, still holding onto his oxygen tank, because that's how he survived outside of the vehicle.
And he was kidnapped because he went back to get his girlfriend's hat.
Yeah, to get...
Doris.
What's her name?
Floris.
Vilma. He has Vilma's hat.
Benny.
Colin Farrell, who plays Benny, is actually quite good. In the couple scenes we have with him, he's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Vilma, as Julie Foster, who plays Vilma, is giving it her all. They just gave her moments that turned her into this character into a laughable meme. Including now which one of you hurt my Benny? She's not even like lobbing a brick at them or anything. She just walks at them shaking her fists.
She's going to attack them with her love.
The direction fails everyone in this. The direction fails everyone.
You're saying that really impassioned to me, like it's my fault.
Because it's so weird. Like the choices. The dregs look phenomenal until they don't. That's not down to the costume or visual effects or the puppetry. It's down to the fact suddenly they're in broad daylight shots.
Yeah,
and there is a CGI one that looks dreadful. Oh my God. The one that when they look back after they've left the vehicle and there's that CGI one and it moves so poorly. It's so weird.
It looks a bit like a GIF.
Yes! Like, all it takes is for tilted shots, more handheld vibes for the cam, just to make it feel like, oh my God, these things are coming out for us. It needed more of that. Because instead it's just these static wide shots where you've then gone, yeah, just put one there, copy-paste that one there, put that one there. And it's like, yeah, that's how you achieve the crowd scenes. Because you've only clearly got maybe one, maybe two of the costumes. But the way you mask that is you shoot the wide shot, you fill it with all the visual effects, and then in post, You pull that camera in a bit further. You give it a bit of movement. You make it unsteady. We should feel unnerved and shaky because there is an army of these apex predators that it turns out are just us. They're us later. Maybe they're attacking the thing because they're like, pollution bad, turned us into these. But they don't know that. The Doctor has to kind of spell that out.
Yeah.
But apparently they're intelligent, but they're also devolved. But they're also highly evolved species that can adapt to anything. And humanity's aware of this because they have guns that will adapt to, like, figure out a weakness for them when given time. Laura Fraser plays Kane quite well, but you also don't really get enough of her. She just seems like... Do you know what she seemed like? The character? A downgraded version of the security officer from Impossible Planet and Satan Pit.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. That's what it made me think of.
And his death is so poignant and brilliant, where he's left alone in the vents and he's going to run out of air, but it's the only way to keep the Ood back. It's so beautifully done. And in this, she gets a version of that that's basically just, go now!
I thought you meant in this episode then. I was like,
no.
What? Did I miss something?
But like, Vorm gets killed unceremoniously, Hyphen gets killed, and we don't see it. Like, show us the threat.
Yeah.
We hear that, we see that a couple dozen people are killed on the map. No corpses.
None.
No blood smears.
Do they eat them?
Well, exactly. It's like, do they? If so, why are they not covered in blood? Well, it's a kids' show. It's tea time telly. Yeah, agreed. But like, for all we know, they've just hidden everyone in a cupboard. Like, there's no. Just we saw C get shot in the back in the last episode. There's violence. We see his corpse. There's violence in the last story. Yeah. You don't see any violence in this, aside from that one picking the Doctor up. You don't see any violence.
No.
It's just piss poor. It really is.
And the fact that is Bella's mum.
Kane, yeah.
Yeah, is like, why is that in there?
Oh, because that's why Bella's getting revenge on the resort. That's why she, seemingly, she's the one who put the little worms, the little virus things in.
But like,
which is why she's trying to recover from one in that room, because she's just put it in that machine, and she's gotten like spiked as she's done it.
But they
which Ryan never questioned.
Yeah, they could have gone about it in such a different way. Why did it have to be a mum?
Yeah, just.
And it's like, well, that
why she not
that requires a backstory.
An eco warrior who's come to like take it down from inside.
Exactly.
Just, I don't know. And then, again with the weird writing, the way the Doctor says that the world fell apart because of, and she says like pollution, war, famine, migration, and as soon as she said that, I'm like, wait, what? Excuse me, huh? Like, yes, mass migration can be a bad thing that affects communities and civilizations, but like getting migration right and helping people migrate is a good thing. Like, the system needs to adapt to help people.
Or was she implying that it's...
Well, it's just
like people had to migrate?
No, she's saying that she lists it as one of the causes of things going to crap.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's like, that's weird. Huh. But it's the kind of thing that scaremongering Tory sort of POV is like,
that a cause of...
keep migrants out and all this crap.
Is that a cause of...
No, but exactly. It's the whole thing of like destabilizing societal structures.
Oh.
Yeah, if it's en masse and people aren't helped, but ultimately migration is about humanitarianism.
Yeah.
It's about helping people. And if we can't fit them in the country right now, well then see what you can do to help find them a home. Like, it's basically it didn't sit right with me because it was saying migrants were one of the 5 things that end the world.
Yeah, which...
It's like, that's a weird line.
This is a planet. The ground is the ground. You can live on it.
However, Ryan batting away imaginary bats is hilarious.
Very funny, yeah. A cringy moment when Bella and Ryan, they have a kiss, bless them. They both suck their thumb at each other. It's in like a goodbye.
Yeah, it's meant to be played like but it doesn't.
Cringe.
Her kissing him on the cheek is more than enough. Because that also harkens back to the first scene where she thinks he's trying to pick her up.
Yeah, and she's into it.
Yeah. Like, that was enough. The kiss on his cheek is enough.
Cringe.
Special shout out to Llewyn Lloyd playing Silas. He does a great job. kid actors that aren't annoying or hard to come
Okay.
by.
Oh, yeah.
He does a great job.
Well, yeah.
Reverse bonus points for Nevi, his dad, played by James Buckley, who's like,
Boring.
maybe it's just bad casting, but the character's superfluous and he doesn't really bring anything to it.
Yeah.
Other than, it's the guy from The Inbetweeners. And that's it.
Having never seen The Inbetweeners, he was very boring.
He was kind of playing the same character, just not as a high schooler, basically.
Right.
Why is the mechanic crap? Why would you have a crap mechanic at your
And
place? At your place that requires everything to be working, or giant mutant monsters will break in and kill people.
Very bizarre.
So dumb. Notes, quick, we've got to move on. The battery's running low. Sorry. Thought I got
it. Graham was adorable with his Speedos, saying that...
not in them, but yeah.
Because he didn't have...
I didn't pack Speedos. Only joking. Already got them on. Hey!
It's so cute. It's so cute.
Oh, continuing the tradition of them having adventures that we're just catching the tail end of.
Yeah.
Like, there's a thing and there's a chopped off tentacle in the doorway and they're mopping up around it.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Oh dear, the makeup. Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, no shade on the makeup team. It should be shot better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, Ryan was funny after the virus. He was funny.
Yeah.
The bats aren't real.
It's
Bella.
out of focus, swatting around. It's so funny.
Bella would love her eyes because she's beautiful. Oh my Benny! The dregs look like the monkey monster from Evolution.
Yes. I think I also said, write a note, Primeval.
Underneath it says, CGI dreg looks like something from Primeval.
Yes. Well shot, practical dreg in like the steam room looks phenomenal. CGI twitching dreg in broad daylight looked like a primeval creature from when that show was on television over 10 years prior.
Are you just putting in a reference to Five Who fans though?
No, I think Primeval's shite. I remember watching... Sorry, Dan. I remember watching Primeval on broadcast, the first two series, purely out of like... Well, ITV timed it brilliantly. It was in the gaps. Because you remember, there'd be Doctor Who on BBC One, and then after a couple of months there'd be something like Robin Hood or Merlin or Atlantis. Like they'd do a show that was similar to Doctor Who in terms of like that kind of either fantasy or genre or historical.
Yeah.
ITV got in on that, and they did things like, there's another one I can't remember the name of now that's got Mackenzie Crook in it that was awful.
Mm.
They did one series, but they did stuff like Primeval, and that was like, okay, I'll watch it. I was the target audience for it. I remember finishing 2 series and going, I don't think I want to carry on with this.
I've never seen it.
It's not great.
Never ever seen it.
It's not great.
Why did the kid run out at the end? What did he run out for?
Yeah, to only just immediately come back after they rescue him from the hallway.
He literally ran out to be rescued. That was literally it.
Really
There's no
pointless.
other reason.
Utterly pointless. Yeah.
So stupid. Also, don't hate on people with green hair.
Do you know what Benny should have gone back for that would have actually had more weight and like he goes back to if he dropped the ring. Oh my god, we're writing a better story now. Hey, do you know what the best version of Orphan 55 is? The best version of the script could have been a deleted copy. Sorry, Ed Heim, not your finest work.
Sick burn.
Nina Mativia, however, delivers something real bloody lovely. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. I'm sorry, what a Target novel title that is.
It is.
That has absolutely got, I thought of the title first and then decided what the story was.
Yeah, probably.
In the best way. It's a historical with a big monster thing. Very much a modern history, past set story for Doctor Who. I like that it starts with the Doctor and co. already trying to investigate what's happening. We start the story with Nikola Tesla and Dorothy Skerritt. We start the story with them, and then the Doctor stumbles into the story, and we realise the two things were going to converge anyway. Nice, nice, nice.
I find it bizarre that she's never met Nikola Tesla before.
At least not as far as this script is concerned. The character's probably met Nikola Tesla at some point.
I'm sure they've
in a book or
like,
whatever.
like Matt Smith referenced him at some point.
Well, the thing is, like, he references meeting Father Christmas in other stories where Father Christmas apparently isn't real because it's the Doctor. Like, who says, I'm not Red Bicycle when you were 12 and all that sort of stuff.
What?
And, you know, exactly. Like, look, the canon can fluff around a bit like that if it services a good story. So I don't care, really. Like, how many incarnations have apparently studied under Harry Houdini? Like, it's whatever. Like, I don't care, you know? But it gave an excuse for Robert Glenister to play Thomas Edison, who's bloody great, and Goran Oh, I'm never going to get his name right. I'm so sorry, dude. He's Croatian. Goran Viznjic, to play Nikola Tesla. Utterly brilliantly.
Yeah, really.
What
good.
a guest star.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Just every little idiosyncrasy, every little tick, his delivery, the tone of his voice, the way he looked. The costume and location team and set design team get all the snaps. All the snaps for this episode. The stuff around Niagara Falls and the stuff in early New York is gorgeous. Right down to, we both point out, just like the woman's haircut in Edison's think tank.
That was
just background characters. Like, oh my God, we're there. We are there right now.
Yeah, it was very cool.
So well done.
I think the cinematography and the lighting and just everything, whoever does it for these series with Jodie is just peak.
I think this episode is one of those where it looks really good for that. There's enough kind of playing around with the colour levels and saturation to make it visually distinct, but not washed out. It's very much like you can picture the scenes. You can picture the TARDIS channeling the electricity being that bright blue inside instead of yellow. You can picture when Nikola first sees the scouting orb and the room's filled with green light. It's so pretty.
And the score as well throughout the whole thing is just amazing.
I love that it ties into his studies at Wardenclyffe. I like that it is a historical in the same sense of the Unquiet Dead, of Tooth and Claw, where it's historical figure, not necessarily romanticising them, but definitely going, here's the impact they have on our world.
Yeah.
And here's the person.
Yeah.
Even Edison, who is certainly a B villain for some of this episode, is played up as someone who does care about people. It's just sometimes the business overtakes the human. When his colleague dies, when one of the people who work for him dies, he immediately is we've got to tell his family. He's panicking.
Yeah.
And he's mournful. But at the same time, he's not mournful over the actions he took that screwed over Tesla and took patents and...
Yeah, but is it Nikola Tesla who had a briefcase stolen and that had all his patents in?
There's accusations and stories and urban legends.
And did he go
all
missing?
Sorts around it.
He was,
I don't know.
I can't remember. It might be somebody else.
But there's enough stuff around that period where it's these two, one definitely felt betrayed by the other, but it's also that thing of Edison was progress, Tesla was invention, and unfortunately, they just didn't meet. I mean, if you want a fantastic condensed history lesson on those two, look up the epic rap battles of history video on those two. Yeah. It's a brilliant, little... Yeah. Here's the basics of who they were and why they clashed and why they were brilliant and why they were crap and all the things about them that was the good, the bad, everything. That song does a great job. And this episode does a great job of showcasing it as well.
Yeah.
We also, like those other historicals, get a villain that's not really the focal point, but is just fun set dressing and leads to a performance that could be a ton of fun. In this case, the returning Anjali Mahindra, not as Rani Chandra, not in the Sarah Jane Adventures, but as the Queen of the Skithra.
Maybe it was. Maybe she was playing the long game.
No. But it is. I noticed a lovely meta moment. There's a bit where the Queen of the Skithra threatens Graham directly. It's the first interaction she's had with that character. And it's kind of a nice little meta moment because the first time Anjali Mahindra and Bradley Walsh worked together was in her first Sarah Jane story with him as the villain.
I can't imagine him as a villain.
He's really good as Mr. Spellman / Odd Bob the Clown / the Pied Piper. You've not seen Day of the Clown. We should watch that. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah.
I'll watch that one. It's great. But yeah, it's great. It's oh look, there's
references.
Yeah, exactly.
Very small slight, and you have to be a super nerd to get it.
But it's cool. I like it.
But yeah, she's. Is it referenced that she's kind of the same species as?
Not outright, but the creature design, the way she kind of plays it, a little more heightened, a bit more pantomime,
through her teeth,
and her children, her people. she's basically the same species as the Rachnos, but she's the scorpion side of the arachnid kind of family there, whereas Sarah Parrish, of course, new Doctor Man, is the spider version. And it's like, it's not outright said, it's just there in the visuals.
Oh, I thought you said that it was said.
No, it's not outright said, it's just there in how she looks. It's so like, oh, that's a nice little bit of world building without... Yeah. The same way that the Sea Devils and the Silurians prior to Warriors of the Deep, it's, oh yeah, they're of the same kind of family. This is just a different pocket of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, there you go. And I bloody love it. And I think Angelique's just having a ball playing it. I remember messaging her on the night of it going out, just going like, well, you had fun. She was like, thanks, I did. I was like, hey.
Well, you just dropped your your name card on the floor.
But anyway, Hayley McGee as Dorothy is a great addition. She's a lot of fun. You really believe that she's like, I want everyone else to see what I see in him. She's on
like
the right
scooped
path.
up in like a fantasy of science and and discovery.
Like she's got the more realistic head on her shoulders than Nikola does, but she understands that no, this guy needs to be supported. Like what he's doing is important, and I am there for him. Like I'll keep his feet on the ground, but I'll let him have his head in the clouds because he needs to be there.
Yeah.
She's a great bit of casting. Again, really great design, hair and makeup, like everything.
I just want to know how they did their hair because I want to do it like that.
Harold Green, the first guy that turns up dead and then shows back up later, is played by regular creature performer for Doctor Who, Sarah Jane and Torchwood, Paul Casey. So he finally gets an on-camera face role, which is nice. They look great as well. The returning, like the dead people being then used, sort of their visual used as a disguise. And when he starts to like crackle apart, and his face becomes more insectoid, it's like, oh, that's so good.
Oh my god, when he turns into the... Oh, what does he do? Does he like disapparate or something?
That's what I was saying. Like when his face kind of
like
cracks down, and you sort of see a halfway house version.
It's like something from a horror film. It's like morphed and stretched and. Bleh.
I love that. I love that. There's the Skithra's empire is built essentially on repurposed and stolen stuff. Edison, Queen of the Skithra, I'll agree. Do we all see it, folks? But it's not heavy-handed. It's just there. So it's an excuse as well for him to be like, yeah, let's use a Silurian gun. We'll kit bash it a bit, but there it is. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. Whatever Graham calls it, like Silurize and laser something or other.
Oh, what does he say?
Can't remember, but it's adorable. I love when he one-ups Edison as well by using the analogy of a boss at the bus depot. Just, it's a ton of fun.
The everyday man knows more than you think.
Yasmin's skirt that is not a skirt, it's trousers in the wide shot. Brilliant bit of costume design. Incredible work. This one's fun. This one to me is like a nice sort of like 4-star. Yeah, great. Spin it. You want to watch a random Doctor Who? Which one should we watch? A historical one? Oh, go on, put the Nikola Tesla one on. Yeah, it's that kind of episode.
Yeah,
it's like Unquiet Dead, like that kind of vibe. Shakespeare Code, like yeah, go on, put that one on. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just a bit.
It definitely has a pacing issue in the second half.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of that is down to the fact that these episodes are running at 50 minutes instead of 45. So there's 5 minutes of padding.
It feels like 2 different episodes.
I wouldn't say it does.
Because you've got your Scorpion Queen
stuff. Oh, yeah, but that's the intrusive stuff. That's the intrusive side. Like, you could argue that, Shakespeare Code, like, you've got...
No.
Oh, you mean unlike the Gelth or the
they're not together
or the
enough.
Carrions or whatever, the Carrionites, it's not like... they don't thematically, visually fit the period. But I don't mind that, because they are intruding, that's the point. I know, but they don't... They've found someone who can make things for them because they don't do that themselves, so they go there.
I get that, but you don't see them together enough, I don't think.
True, but then you do see versions of them as, like, haunted corpse Victorian-era people, so you do kind of get that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, the Skithra could look ridiculous, but she's shot well and lit well.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like, how can you get it so right and so wrong at the same time?
Different directors, weird. Different visual effects. Really, it just depends on who's in the edit that week.
Bizarre.
And let's move on because we're running out of time, but we've got a lot to say. Yes, hit your notes.
There's not loads.
Okay. Well, a lot of notes. They're great.
Love the colours again. The gang in period clothing, I thought they looked so cute.
They're great. And the fact the Doctor just doesn't bother.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they never do that. I thought the Scorpions looked cool.
Yeah. There's a couple of shots of them in daylight where it was like, okay, they look like CGI.
But I think
they look like CGI put into the
Yeah.
shot. But the interaction with the physical set, like them smashing into the barn,
They're bumping into each other and
into
stuff.
into the what's it called?
Thing.
Yeah, the stalls,
Building,
things like
yeah.
that. Yeah, and the shots of them in the dark with the red eyes, great,
But
especially in the mist outside the centre at the end. Yeah,
like bumping into each other and everything. I thought it was cool. I was just like, Yaz wearing pants.
Yaz wearing
Yaz.
pants.
I just thought that was excellent. That's very Yaz. Very good. That was it.
Fugitive of the Judoon. I mean, what do we need to say about this one? This one is a mid-season finale disguised as a normal fifth episode of a 10-episode series.
Was it a mid-series?
No, because the show carries on next week, but it has all of that kind of injection of, where the hell are we going to go with this? We'll see in a few weeks, everybody. Like, it has that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. I mean...
It's the closest I can think of to Series 1 with Dalek. Like, mid-series, you suddenly get the episode that the pop cultural cosmos, like, consciousness is waiting for. Mid-series, giving the series a renewed interest mid-series.
Yeah.
Whereas this one soft teases that with, hey, you remember the Rhino guys? Yeah, well, they're going to be in a story. Come and see it. It's going to be fun. And that's what everyone tuned in for. They're like, the Judoon!
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Judoon! Yeah, all right, go on. And they are a trap for the viewer. They are a hint and a trap because they are not the plot. That's why they're repeating their old steps. We're just seeing them do the same thing again, albeit not in a hospital on the moon. They're doing it in Gloucestershire.
Yeah.
Is it Gloucester?
Gloucester.
They're doing it in Gloucester. And they are there to bring back everybody who remembers Series 3. I mean, you've already had the Master. He showed up in Series 3 first time. Remember him? You've been thinking about him now, haven't you? Because you've seen him again. That's fun. Oh, the Judoon, they're from Series 3. That's fun, isn't it? The Judoon being back. That's cool. The Rachnos, I mean, she was in the Christmas special that starts Series 3. Here's a villain that's kind of like the Rachnos. Cool. Hey, do y'all remember the Chameleon Arch? And it's like, okay, like there's a lot of... Hey, do y'all remember Captain Jack? Last time he was in Doctor Who.
Oh, God, yeah, this is a very elbow...
It was like Series 3, Series 4, like, cameo,
This is very
And I think I've got to give Chibnall credit because I think this is deliberate. This is subtle seeding for this episode. Because after this, it doesn't rely on that as much for the rest of the series. But in this episode, it does.
Is it done to make you feel like comfortable, maybe?
I think it's to win back people or harken back people who love 2007.
Darkness back.
Specifically 2007. Because on first broadcast, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And then the moment she's in the lighthouse, Ruth is in the lighthouse, and she can hear the voices and like, over here, I'm over here. Break the glass. I immediately went, oh my God, it's Chameleon Arch. It's Chameleon Arch. It's Chameleon Arch. She's a Gallifreyan. She's a Time Lord. Like, it hit me before she breaks the glass.
Yeah.
Which is only like 20 seconds before she breaks the glass. But for me, it was like, oh my God, it all fell into place. Because the last 5 episodes, and the last 4 episodes in this one, have been slowly reintroducing elements of 2007. It was getting you ready. That payoff is wonderful. And I think the build-up is brilliant. On rewatch, knowing what's going on, knowing that Lee is not the titular fugitive of the Judoon. He's not an alien who's like hidden and has a human wife. Like, that's not what's going on. He's humanoid. He's maybe Gallifreyan. I mean, he must be if he's got the same training as Gat from the Academy, apparently, for Division. Yeah. So he's probably a Time Lord, meaning one of the Doctor's first companions. Again, a verbal clue early in the episode that's not obvious. Given that he's essentially the Doctor's first or one of the Doctor's earliest companions, we meet another next series. Lee is a red herring for who the fugitive really is. I'm not going to talk about the future. I'm just going to learn about what we learn here. But we learn that the Doctor works for a division. It is something that she's been trying to escape. She and Lee have clearly been trained, because Gat is for the division and with the division, and they're all the same kind of combat training. It's obviously got to be a secretive thing, because the Judoon have been sent on a paid mission by Gat on behalf of the division to retrieve the Doctor. So this isn't something that the division want people to know has happened. They don't want people to know that one of their number has escaped.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, how secretive is this then? We know that this Doctor is more combat ready. She said she'd never use a gun, but she's definitely hand-to-hand, like, prepared. When she snaps off the Judoon captain's horn, for example.
Oh, that made me sad.
That's only because the Judoon captain up to that point has a few moments of quirky comedy.
Stop.
Like the little, when it gets pushed in the cafe.
God, we had to rewind that because it was just amazing.
That's bloody funny.
That's
so funny.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, Alan, all ears Alan. Michael Begley, I'm sure he's great in other stuff. He's playing this at a sitcom level that no one else in the episode is playing it at.
Who's that?
All ears Alan.
Oh, yeah.
The performance doesn't quite hit. But yeah, like, I mean, the star of Jodie gets some great moments in this. The Judoon platoon near a lagoon. It's more like a lake.
that should annoy me, but it was really funny.
Because you remember how much fun the Doctor had doing that in the first place.
Yeah.
Judoon platoon upon the moon, barefoot on the moon, and all that stuff. So the fact that, like, this is the first full-blown Judoon story for the Doctor since then, of course, the Doctor's like, oh, I want to do it again. Judoon platoon near the moon, she says it, and, like, sort of it looks like, God, they didn't notice, thank God, and carries on. Then later on, Judoon platoon near a lagoon. And it's just really, like, when Yaz deflates it. It's so funny. Yeah, the Judoon look great.
Yeah, they do.
The puppet, the animatronic head looks as great as ever. Is it Paul Casey in the suit? It's Paul Casey in the suit. The captain has a name.
Oh.
Judoon Captain Paul Condon. That is a reference to Paul Condon, who was a lovely man. I met him on a couple of occasions. He was wonderful. I knew him through Doctor Who contacts, but also because he worked at BBC iPlayer at one point. Do you remember I told you years ago that somebody at the BBC Bar and Television Centre recognised me because of the Stewie Griffin idents?
Yeah.
That was Paul.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. Paul was lovely. He was sort of part of the Doctor Who community as like a mega fan who had connections within the world and dipped a toe in it. The Judoon captain is named Paul Condon as a nod to Paul Condon.
That's adorable.
That's sweet, right? He passed away, I think it was 2019 when we've, like, you might have made pass, but it was like, yeah, it's a lovely little nod from the team, essentially.
Yeah, that is nice.
The Judoon captain's great. Nick Briggs coming back, bringing the thunder as the voice of the Judoon, doing a great job. They've all got slightly different voices, including one who kind of sounds like, we were talking about it, where the classic Cybermen, where you'd have like the David Banks, like, good, excellent.
Yeah.
And there'd be the side one that talks like this, leader. There's a Judoon counting down over that speaker, who sounds like this. I wonder if that's Nick Briggs deliberately doing a nod to, like, the second in command being a bit more simpering.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, it's just there's some nice choices. Gloucester is filmed on location. They make the town square and the cathedral and everything look really nice. They shoot inside it as well. It looks really cool. The side plot with Captain Jack Harkness is very much a mid-season get your attention thing.
Yeah, it's very random.
Putting aside the penis flashing man for a second, it's cute to see Captain Jack again. And the idea that Captain Jack is trying to scoop up the Doctor because he has a message for the Doctor that needs to be delivered right now. And because the Judoon have put that, like, barrier around Gloucester, it interferes with it. So he ends up scooping up everyone but the Doctor from the TARDIS.
Yeah.
The mistaking Graham for the Doctor at first is nice. And then the whole, like, she, not he. And the bit where he turns around and goes, oh, this I gotta see. You're like, okay, that is charming.
Yeah.
That is, okay, damn it. Again, we're separating the actor and his odd behaviour from the character here. It's cute to see the character. I do wonder, with Jack being so much later in his life, why he hasn't changed his wardrobe at least a bit. Keep the coat, but wear other stuff underneath it. Why is he still dressing the same as he did for a job he's not had for thousands of years? Yeah, but like, what? Does he only own one shirt? Anyway, that cathedral that they shot in, that environment with that ship, the controls, looks cool, but it's also like, it does feel a little bit like, could you not have put like a green screen up on the wall and shown us like a star field? Like, why would it just be in a hallway? Like, we know it's a great filming location, but it doesn't look like the bridge of a spaceship.
No, not at all.
It's very strange.
It looks like the docking area. No, not the docking area.
The docking bay, but or the check-in area, like where like they've brought in people who've arrived at the airlock. Or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite.
It's weird.
It's very odd.
Corridor.
But beware the lone Cyberman. Do not give him what he wants. Well, we'll put a pin in that. The teleportation effect around Ryan, Yaz, and Graham is great. That sort of blue static crackle paneling thing looks really cool.
Yeah.
Let's get to the meat of it, shall we? Jo Martin's wonderful.
Yeah.
As Ruth Clayton, and as who Ruth Clayton turns out to be.
Yeah.
She's
completely different people.
She's instantly just watchable. She's so sweet and goofy at the beginning, and the reverse context when you know who she and Lee really are is so upsetting. As I said to you, you remember the premise of this one, don't you? You went, yeah. And I went, so you know how sad Lee's story is, and you went, he's Martha. You instantly remembered like what the context is for this one, and you summed it up beautifully. He's Martha. He's also changed his biology, but he knows who they are to keep her safe. Because he registered as human when he scanned, but he makes a thing at one point. He goes, humans. And it's like, so he's her companion, and in this life, as Ruth Clayton, she's fallen in love with Lee, and they've gotten married. That
creeps me out a little bit. Is that something that actually happened, or is that something that happened whilst she was...
I don't think that's their cover, necessarily. I don't think them being married is their cover. Do you know what I mean? But hey, maybe their romance is maybe the romance was already kind of there. Maybe they're a very asexual couple, like they're not particularly intimate, for example. There's sort of an implication that he's visiting, so maybe he works away. Maybe they've not been there long. They've been there long enough that Alan's become a bit of an arsehole. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you with him? Get with me. But like, Lee is also distant. Yeah. That might be why Alan is trying to learn more about it. Maybe he works away from home, so he's only visiting occasionally. So the intimacy, like, creep factor of, it's weird that he's doing that knowingly. Maybe it's not there. Maybe they're not like that because they can't be. Maybe there was a romance there already. Maybe it's just blossomed over this period, and he's fallen in love with Ruth, which then is a reflection of the Joan and John Smith story and like the kind of sadness of that. And
yeah, I guess.
You know, it's again, it's making you think about series 3. It wants you to think about that. Because as soon as it unravels, you realise how upsetting this is. And he dies knowing that she's probably going to get caught now. Do you know what I mean? It's really sad.
Luna, we're talking. Does she like ask where he is?
She sees it. The Judoon shows her.
Oh yeah.
And that's when her sort of like, it's almost like a sleeper agent. They're playing it at that point like she's a sleeper agent. Yeah. But then you realise, no, it's instinct. It's these little flashes of stuff are coming back to her. It's the Yana, open me, you fool, and receive my majesty. Like it's those moments again.
Yeah.
It's the thing finally saying, now, come back now, come back. And she completely wipes out that group of Judoon. Yeah. It takes them out. And then the Judoon freak out and start to change their tactic because this is not what they signed up for. And I love that the Doctor reveals herself as the Doctor to confuse things with Gap, because then the Judoon immediately are like, hang on, 2 fugitives, 2 payments. She's like, no, shut up, no, because it's complicating things even further. I like that. I think that's really cool. Gat is like Ritu Arya plays Gat. She's great. If I remember correctly, this is it. I don't think we see her again. But it definitely sets up the idea of, there's something going on here. There is something going on here. Like, what is Division? We recently saw her as she's journalist Barbie. So we recently saw her as Barbie.
Oh, well.
But yeah, She's great. Her look is fantastic. If we're talking about how things look, oh my god, the Fugitive Doctor's design.
Yeah. Very cool.
She looks amazing.
I don't think I've ever seen green glasses before.
Oh, and they're yellow tinted.
Oh, I've seen.
You've still not seen green glasses.
I've still not.
But they're yellow tinted. But like, just her whole look, the fact that her personality is very Hartnell, Pertwee kind of
like
clippedness. Like she'll still joke, and she'll still bluff, but she's got no time for this sort of crap. And that's what's brilliant about the first scene where they're together. Like the reveal of the TARDIS is incredible. Fan debate is still raging about how that makes sense. Shut up, everybody. If it was just a random thing, you wouldn't have reacted the way you did. It's there to make you go, what the hell is happening?
What was that?
The fact that it's a police box.
Oh, right.
Because all arrows point to her being an earlier incarnation of the Doctor.
Yeah.
But at this point, we don't know that she's most likely an earlier incarnation. She might be a later one. Like the Doctor says, you don't recognise the Sonic. She says, because I don't need silly little things like that. Which then implies that she knows what a sonic device is. Yeah. She just doesn't have one. Yeah. Well, Hartnell didn't have one. But maybe she's outgrown it.
Yeah.
Like, one of them should remember being the other one, and they don't. The mystery is there at this point of where the hell is she?
Yeah. But the inside of the TARDIS looks more early Doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's harkening back to, like, the 60s vibe.
Yeah.
But also, Gat and Gallifrey and the Division must be, as the 13th Doctor points out, must be earlier in her personal timeline. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Ruth is. Ruth could be a Doctor from further along who gets pulled into something from earlier in Gallifrey's history.
That's true.
So it's you know what, the mystery is there and it is set up brilliantly. Will it pay off brilliantly? Time will tell, but as far as this episode goes as like a blockbuster event episode, it's really fun.
It's like yeah, we're confused, but so was everybody else.
Join us for the rest of series 12, everybody. Like that's kind of what it's leaving it at.
It was weird.
And the fam confronting the Doctor as well, and like, why are you being like this? What's going on? And they're finally kind of giving up some of it.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Where do you keep... Yeah, we get the implication that they keep having adventures where she just pops off for a bit.
Yeah.
It's like, where are you going? It's like, I'm looking for the Master. I'm trying to find the Master.
It was...
Even though he was trapped in the giant carpet world.
Yeah.
Between dimensions. There was speculation during the time of Spyfall being out that the Kasavin, like we didn't know what they're called... Oh, no, we did by that point, I think. That thing that the Doctor is left in the end of the episode that Yaz is in briefly was... They were shrunk.
Well, yeah, shrunk the Master.
No, but like, because they brought back the TCE and stuff, implying that maybe they've been shrunk down.
Yeah.
Because it looks like the fibres of a carpet, or like a scalp or something. Do you know what I mean?
Gross.
Sorry, go on. You were saying.
I was going to say when the Doctor, Jodie, digs up the TARDIS and turns around, and it's Jo Martin.
Yes.
Jo Martin's Doctor stood there. It felt like that was the end of an episode.
Yes, it feels like the start of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was weird. Because then I thought, oh, this is a two-parter then. No.
We do get another two-parter this series. We get a sort of three-parter as the end of the series. But I really like Fugitive the Judoon. Does it stand up as like a solo episode? No, not really, because it's kind of we're having fun. Here's the thing that stirs the pot. It's not one I think you're going to go back to watch on its own unless you want to kind of rekindle the vibe of the first time you watched it again and be like, oh, do you remember how you felt the first time I watched it? Let's go back and watch it and like pay attention to Neil Stooke's performance as Lee. Do you know what I mean? Like you go back to watch it for that maybe.
Yeah. But
other than that, I don't think you'd go back to watch it on its own, necessarily. Hit me with your notes, because we need to wrap up.
There's two.
Oh, yes. Important to note, we watched this one, like, just before recording as well, so...
Graham, that's the worst cake I've ever seen, when he says that.
And then just vanishes with a muffin in hand.
Yeah, when he's looking at the cupcakes, he's like, oh, yeah.
Look at that little face.
That's the worst cake I've ever seen. It's like, God, Graham, say how you really feel. And the Judoon reacting to being pushed is just so funny. but but it vocalizes its emotions all the way through.
There's a couple of moments where it's like,
yeah. It's like, oh, that's cute. It's different.
Like we've wound up with one of the slightly less, no less deadly but slightly less brutal Judoon captains.
Yeah.
Like this one's a bit of a thug.
Yeah.
A bit of a lughead. This is the Biff Tannen of Judoons.
Definitely.
Like it can still be violent and it can still lead to conclusions. I mean, the death of that old woman in the Parameter is so shocking. When she just fries to a skeleton and then vanishes. Like, and the fact that they were going to use a weapon that could eradicate half of Gloucester just to kill one person in a building before they'd even ascertained if it was the right person. That's bad. But it's still quite a goofy villain.
When it destroyed her knitting because of the needles.
Because the needles are your compensation for your weapon.
It was funny because she said, it took me 9 weeks to do that. Because she's doing a stripy whatever.
A stripy scarf, let's be honest.
It was like, relatable.
She says, whilst actually doing crochet right now. Look at that. There it is, dangling in shot. What do you all think of Series 12, Part 1? Do you dig it? I think mostly. Bar Orphan 55, we had a pretty good time.
Yeah.
And even then we had a good time just going, Benny!
Benny!
Which one of you got my Benny?
Well, Christopher said at the time, it was like, there's a memeable thing in this. And I was like, all right, okay. And then as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, God,
to this day, whenever character posters come out for films, people do one for her, for Vilma. There's, they're not too recent for us really, but it was like 2 months ago, the character posters for the 14th Doctor, Donna, the 15th Doctor, and Ruby, that they put out as beautiful one-shot posters. Like, I saw one for Vilma.
Oh, for God's sake.
Like, people still do it. Do you like these episodes? If you enjoy this series and this video, write Benny in the comments. Benny. We're going to go next. We need to eat food.
I've got a rumbly tumbly.
We do have rumbly tumblies, like Winnie the Pooh. We'll see you next time for, let me see if I can remember. Praxius. Can You Hear Me? Yeah! The Haunting of Villa Diodati. Fuck yeah! Ascension of the Cybermen. Yeah, alright. And The Timeless Children. No noise, leave you in suspense. Big love. One love. Big hands.
Big dreams.
Big dreams.
Goodbye.